Hi there, my name is Rexford and welcome. I recently got my Canon mirrorless camera, the M50, which happens to be my first digital camera. I bought it on Amazon and it was delivered to me here in Ghana through the handiwork of the man himself, the African dream. Let's talk about getting items from Amazon to Ghana in a separate video. By the way, I'm a beginner photographer. Am I? And I'm just trying to review an entry-level mirrorless camera. I have no other experience with DSLR other cameras to compare this M50 to, but I've played with a few EOS models from Canon in the past, from him and her and him. However, the cameras weren't my personal property, so I don't think I've spent enough time with them to be able to comfortably compare it to the M50 that I currently have. Plus, they were all non-mirrorless cameras. So here are my first time observations and impressions why I like and dislike the Canon M50 from M50 camera so far. If you're a beginner photographer like myself and considering buying a mirrorless camera, maybe considering the M50, here are some considerations to keep in mind that I kept in mind, which you might find useful. On the market, going for my first digital camera, I was looking for something that was affordable. It should have 4K, have the ability for interchangeable lenses, should be mirrorless, and it should be a fairly recent device, and also have relatively great and picture quality and low light performance as well. I looked for these when I was trying to get myself a digital camera for the first time, and in all my research I realized the Canon M50 happened to be the one that matched all the above criteria I had closest. Here's what I think about the camera experience so far. The grip. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, reviews about the Canon M50, and most talk about how the grip is not as comfortable as other cameras they've used. In my case, I've not used many cameras out there personally for longer than what I'm using this M50 for, but I think for me, my hands, it fits well with the Canon M50 and I have no problem with that. The size is really small. I know there is this notion that if your camera is not that big, you're not really a professional photographer. It kind of works that way sometimes. Clients are like, yeah, you're gonna do this whole shoot with this small camera, and they're kind of wondering whether you're going to do a good job. But I think the size is fine for me. It's okay, it's lightweight, it doesn't weigh me down, you know, and it's fine. The grip is also good enough. I'm able to grip it well. The ports, the buttons and the port on the device as well, I think they are all rightly placed and they all are okay for me. One thing I like about it so much is the microphone port, allowing me to slot in the microphone and just be on my way without having to buy a hot shoe for microphone, whatever thing that it is. It's just amazing. I just slot in my, where is it? I have this lapel mic and then plug it into it and I'm good to go. So not much of a hassle there. I don't need to buy any hot shoe, whatever, for recording sound and whatnot. The position of the record button is what I don't understand. Why it's hard to locate the record button when you want to find it and press it, because in action you want to quickly be able to access it. I watched the video where the guy remapped the shutter button to record, which is perfectly fine, but I was hoping the record button will also be something a bit, you know, you can feel is there, then you can easily press it without having to worry much about where is that thing. I don't know, but I've also not remapped my shutter to that. Maybe I will do that later on. But the interchangeable lens part of it, I'm also amazed. Although this uses, is it the EFS lens mounts or stuff like that? There is an adapter which I'm currently using, which allows me to slot in the EFM lenses. So I have this here, which I'm able to slot all the other EF mounts lenses into it, and it works pretty well so far. It's got the contacts which allows any lens that the camera can communicate to be able to use it and control the focus and stuff like that. So it works amazing. It came with the bundle I bought, and so I really like it and it fits really well. Perfect. With that adapter, I'm okay with the lenses. I'm able to slot in this Tamron one, which also came with the bundle I bought from Amazon. It's a Tamron 70 to 300 millimeter lens, and it works fine. It's the camera is able to detect it, and it's able to connect to it and control the focus and whatnot. It's perfect. The other thing is the screen. As I'm doing this recording, I have the screen flipped around, and I'm able to look at the screen whilst I'm talking. This is really important. You want to see yourself whilst you're talking, and having that ability on the camera was something I was also looking for, and I love that, to see that feature available. So you're able to see yourself when you're doing your vlogging and video recordings like that for YouTube and stuff. Amazing. The viewfinder is great. You're able to see the details in the image as much as possible whenever you are shooting. Even in bright light environment, the touch screen itself is also very bright. The viewfinder is amazing. I personally don't care much about the viewfinder, the details in there. I try to use my histogram to understand actually the science behind my image and the details actually, and not bother about whether my screen is bright or not. I normally dim my screen brightness to the lowest just to save battery when I'm on the field. The picture quality it's fine. It's fine. I think the new processing mechanism called a DIGIC thing from Canon is good. I am able to get great image quality. You can see some of these samples about shots right from the camera, not edited, straight up from the camera, and these are really great images. It's fine. I won't say it's the best out there for a beginner photographer. I think solves all my needs for me when it comes to that quality. I think getting better lenses to put on this thing is going to help with better image quality eventually. So maybe that's what I'm going to look into eventually. It has 4K, but then it's cropped 4K. So the lens itself is an APS-C. It's already cropped to some extent. But then when you start recording 4K, it also crops it again, I think 1.6 times crop. And most of the reviews I watch, people are like going all this about that crop factor, which when I got it I was like, why would they crop it? Is there an in-software feature, or is the hardware limit? I don't understand. I feel a day is coming they're gonna put it in there, maybe in a firmware update or something like that, because when you start recording and then it starts cropping, I think this thing is software, like it's software related. It's not a hardware limitation, which maybe someday they will look into it and fix it. As it stands now, for someone like me, this is exactly how I feel. I don't care. I don't shoot a lot of 4K. I'm recording this 1080p, and it's fine because I'm not trying to share any detail. That's not the focus. If maybe I'm shooting a waterfall, I've gone on an adventure somewhere and I want to get quality that I can use it for a longer time and the details matters, 4K fine. And even with that, I'm gonna slot on a lens that should help me probably compensate for the cropping and all that, but I have no issues. There is no support for the RAW. They call it is it a compact or compressed RAW 3 CR3 in that comes with the camera. It's able to compress your raw files. In Darktable, I couldn't import it and edit. There's no support. If you don't know Darktable, it's like Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, and I went on reading some reviews and there's not much support happening with the CR3. It's something particular with Canon and it's new, and if you are recording, you might just want to change it to maybe change it to the standard RAW and just shoot. The file sizes are going to be a bit bigger, I think so, but change it. If you have a bigger space in your camera, then you're good to go. You don't have to worry about compression and stuff like that. The battery is not great. I don't know why, but it's the battery juice is just too small. It's what, 875 milliamp hour. I mean, what is that? 875. This is like So I'm like, when I saw the battery, I thought it was going to pack some juice, but I mean, this is so small. Obviously the camera probably consumes relatively less amount of battery, but I was hoping they could fit in a bigger battery or put in more juice into this thing. But I went to get extra batteries, and relying on this thing is just not sensible. I mean, it's gonna drop on you. It indicates as red, and your next picture it's change battery. It's just not usable basically. So I went to get extra batteries. I currently have 2 more batteries that I use. One in the camera, one is this, and one is currently on charge. So the build quality is good for an $800 $600 camera. I'm not expecting a titanium build quality. That's not what I'm looking for. For what it is now, I think the build quality is understandable. It is usable. Obviously when it falls, you're not gonna pick it up, but it feels okay. I mean, it's good. You can use it, and there's a lot of plastic with it and makes it look some way, but as long as it gets the job done. So basically that has been my experience with the camera so far. It's been close to like a week now using it, and I like what I'm using so far. The fact that I'm having all of this in a compact package like this at a great price point for a beginner photographer like myself, I think this is good, and I'm gonna see how best I can squeeze the most possible, get the best value out of it eventually in my shootings and my video recordings. If there's any other reservations, experience, dislikes, likes I have about this digital camera going forward, I'll do well to share with you. If this is your first time coming to this channel, please subscribe. There's going to be more videos about reviews and products and stuff like that. Make sure to subscribe. If you like this review, please click the like button, and you're free to share with your friends as well if they are considering buying a digital camera for starting photography or stuff like that. My name is Kofi Nyakon, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.